Sure, the Goosebumps TV show could be quite silly, but it honestly had some dark moments that are scary even as an adult. Don't believe me? Just keep watching. Attack of the Jack-o'-lanterns might seem goofy, but it's honestly kind of a creepy episode, perhaps even more so as an adult. The plot involves Drew and Walker going trick-or-treating on Halloween with some friends. However, people have been going missing in their neighborhood, and Drew's mom almost doesn't let her go out. That's way more of a horror of the real world, but that's not the scariest part. Drew and Walker go trick-or-treating with their frenemies, Tabitha and Lee. They knock on a door, and an old lady answers. It suddenly becomes creepy when she tells the kids to come inside and show their costumes to her husband, who loves children. When they get to the husband's room, he has a bunch of kids in chains. Not to mention, the man himself is pretty creepy looking. As I mentioned earlier with people going missing, children being kidnapped and imprisoned is a real-life horror. Some people have said that this clip was actually banned from some TV broadcasts of the episode because it was so disturbing. That kind of feels like just an internet rumor, but at the same time, it wouldn't surprise me. Now, it does turn out to be a dream that Drew was having. Still, children being held against their will by a creepy old man is scary, especially as an adult. A lot of the Goosebumps monsters look scary and evil, but aren't anything too extreme, at least for an adult. However, there is one creature that is truly scary looking regardless of how old you are. In the episode Cry of the Cat, a girl named Allison runs over a cat. It turns out the cat's name is Rip, and he's not your typical feline. Every time he scratches someone, he takes away a bit of their life, and that person becomes more like a cat. If Rip scratches someone enough, this is what happens to them. Pardon the pun, but that is nightmare fuel. This is the scientist who created Rip, and she clearly paid the price for it. The costume and makeup are really good. Too good, in fact. The one bulging eye, the hair, it all just falls perfectly into the uncanny valley. Before you feel too sorry for this lady though, she basically hands Allison and her friend over to Rip. She really is a monster. Now, if you have trouble with anxiety, you are really going to be scared by this next moment. A Night in Terror Tower starts with brother and sister, Eddie and Sue, on vacation, while their parents are at a conference. They go on a tour of the titular tower, but get separated from the group. A creepy man in black starts chasing them, but the scariest part is what happens next. Eddie and Sue manage to escape and go back to the hotel they are staying at. However, they discover there's no conference, and the room they are staying in is vacant. Then, the hotel employee asks them this.
What's your last name?
That reaction says it all. Eddie and Sue can't remember their own last name. They then realize that's not the only thing they don't know.
If only we could find Mom and Dad.
Eddie, I can't even remember what they look like.
Neither can I.
Sue?
Where do we live?
Eddie, I can't even remember yesterday or the day before that, can you?
This is terrifying, no matter what age you are. Imagine you're a kid on a trip with your family, and all of a sudden, you start to forget your own identity. You don't know where your parents are, you don't know where your home is, and you barely remember who you are. That's horrifying. Also, since they can't find their parents, Eddie and Sue can't pay their taxi driver. This is truly adult horror. Based on the short story and even more tales to give you goosebumps, Perfect School is about a kid named Brian O'Connor who gets sent away to improve his behavior. Once he arrives at the boarding school, Brian begins to discover that something weird is going on. As it turns out, the school is cloning the students, creating perfect versions of them. It gets creepy and a little disgusting when Brian walks into a dark room and sees the actual stages of creating a person. Then, Brian comes face to face with his own clone. Seeing that weird ball of tissue with body parts sticking out of it is just disturbing to me. On top of that, the clone pulling that weird tube from his stomach is also kind of sick. I also find the premise of creating flawless human beings pretty creepy, and this scene literally visualizes that. In Cuckoo Clock of Doom, Michael's dad brings home an antique grandfather clock. To try and get his sister in trouble, Michael secretly twists the cuckoo's head and plans to blame his younger sibling. However, this causes Michael to start going back in time, getting younger each day until he's a 6-year-old. In a desperate attempt to stop time from going backward, Michael runs away to find the clock. The scary part is when Michael gets approached by a stranger.
Hey, kid. You got the time?
Michael keeps running, but the man gets closer and closer. This one's scary for the same reason Attack of the Jack-o'-lanterns is scary. Child abductions and predators are horrors of the real world, so this is something adults, especially those who have kids, can find horrifying. Michael's dad ends up finding him before anything happens, and we never find out what the strange man wanted with Michael, but that kind of makes it even scarier. I'm serious, whenever I watch this scene and Be Careful What You Wish For, I feel uneasy. In the episode, a girl named Samantha Bird bumps into this interesting woman. Samantha ends up helping the lady by walking her to where she needs to go. To reward Samantha, the woman grants her 3 wishes. In true horror story fashion, the wishes do come true, but they bring unintended consequences. This becomes very apparent when, in a fit of rage, Samantha wishes everyone would buzz off. And they do. Literally everyone in the world gets turned into a fly. It really settles in when Samantha goes outside and you see all the chaos it's caused. The idea of everyone except you suddenly disappearing and being the only person on Earth is terrifying. I feel like the scene has only gotten scarier with real life events, like the COVID pandemic. The moment becomes even more intense because Samantha has only one wish left. If she messes it up, then all of mankind is over. Imagine having the fate of the world in your hands and you only have one shot at getting it right. In the episode, things do work out, but geez, this would be a moment that would scare me for the rest of my life. One of the scariest episodes and monsters in Goosebumps is the Haunted Mask, but which version is the best and which one is the worst? Find out by watching this video.